It seems that Vauxhall SUVs are rather much like buses. For a long time there was only the Mokka and the rather ageing Antara, but now there's a trio to choose from. There's the Mokka X, the Crossland X, and now this, the Grandland X, the largest of the three that competes with rivals such as the Nissan Qashqai, Peugeot 3008 and the Seat Ateca. Now, the Grandland X and the 3008 have a lot in common because underneath the body they're the same car, and we really like the 3008, so we've got high hopes for this Vauxhall SUV. But is it any good? In this review we'll find out if it should be on your shortlist or if it's just another SUV. And if after watching this video you're tempted by the Grandland X, don't forget we can help save you money on your next new car. Head to the new car deals section at whatcar.com and the link is also below. First though, let's see how the Grandland X performs on UK roads. Sharing so much with the Peugeot 3008, they also share engines. There's a 1.2 litre petrol or a 1.6 litre diesel. And you might think that the 1.2 litre petrol would struggle with a car this size, but actually with its 128 brake horsepower, it's eager and ready to rev. And if you're doing the miles, you may be tempted with the more frugal 118 brake horsepower 1.6 diesel. Whichever option you go for, there's vibration sent back through the pedals and gear lever at certain revs, and above 50 miles per hour there's quite a lot of road and wind noise. You get a 6-speed manual gearbox as standard, and you can opt for an automatic. There's no 4-wheel drive option, however you can spec grip control, which adjusts the car's traction control and stability settings depending on the surface. And it also gets you winter tyres, which are great, but they don't do any favours for the ride. The Grandland X isn't as comfortable as the big selling Qashqai, but it can take the edge off bumps and cracks that would cause a Seat Ateca to thud. Because of that relative softness though, the Grandland X does move around a fair bit on undulating roads, and that constant bobbing around can jostle you and your passengers a little. The Grandland X has a vague steering around the straight ahead position and then quickens a few degrees into a corner, and that inconsistency can take a while to get used to. One of the main reasons why people buy an SUV is because of the lofty driving position, and the same can be said for the Grandland X because there is a great forward view of the road. You can also get a comfortable driving position very easily because there's enough adjustment in the seat and steering wheel to do so. Trouble is, the adjustable lumbar support only comes on the range-topping Elite Nav models, which is a shame because in the 3008 it's fitted to all models apart from the entry-level model. More positively, the dashboard is logically laid out and the controls are on 3 tiers. The Grandland X is also very easy to park thanks to rear parking sensors as standard. And you can get front parking sensors on Techline Nav models and above, and the range-topping model gets a 360 camera. Every Grandland X gets this 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system as standard, and its features include Bluetooth audio streaming as well as Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone connectivity. Go for anything above an SE model and the screen size increases to 8 inches. Every car also comes with Vauxhall's OnStar service, which brings Wi-Fi connectivity and a connection to a dedicated call centre whose operatives can download a route to the sat-nav if you have one fitted. This is particularly handy when you're on the move because the touchscreen's small icons can be difficult to hit. Vauxhall has made the Grandland X feel like a premium product, so there's plenty of soft touch materials, gloss black finishing and chrome detailing here, but it doesn't have the same wow factor as the Peugeot 3008 or the same finish as an Audi Q2. Even taller adults will have room to stretch out in the front of the Grandland X, although I'm not in that category being only 5'4½". There's also plenty of places to store your everyday items, and even though the glove box is quite small, you can still fit some items in there. Move to these rear seats and legroom is only reasonable. There is more space in a Volkswagen Tiguan and Seat Ateca. And if you go for the panoramic roof, that does eat into headroom. That said, if you sit 3 adults side by side, the seats are quite wide, so it is reasonably comfortable. And because there's a flat floor and no big transmission tunnel, there's somewhere to put your feet. It's not the biggest boot in its class, however, you can fit a couple of large suitcases or a buggy in here with ease, plus it's a really practical shape. And if you go for SE and above, you get this floating floor, a ski hatch to load longer items, and electric tailgate which is operated by waving your foot under the bumper or pressing the button. The Grandland X will cost you more to buy than both the Nissan Qashqai and Seat Ateca, but that's largely because even the entry-level model comes with more standard equipment than both of those cars. Running costs are set to be competitive too, with the 1.2-litre engine returning over 50 miles per gallon, no matter which tyre, wheel or gearbox choice you go for. The only downside is that Vauxhall's resale values are not as good as class leaders. We'd recommend opting for a Techline nav model, which gets you sat-nav, front parking sensors, a powered tailgate, keyless entry and start, and extra safety kit on top of the generous amount of equipment you get as standard. In terms of safety, every version above the SE model gets emergency braking, a system that tells you if a car is in your blind spot, and lane keep assist. Plus, all models get 6 airbags, and it received the full 5 stars in the Euro NCAP crash tests. The Grandland X offers much of the same comfort and practicality as the Peugeot 3008, on which it's based, but despite some clever touches, it doesn't quite match the Seat Ateca for driving fun or interior quality. For plenty more on the Vauxhall Grandland X, head to whatcar.com where you can read our full online review. And if you're thinking of buying a Grandland X, we can help save you money on your next new car. Go to whatcar.com and head to our new car deals section or follow the link in the box below. But before you do anything, hit subscribe and never miss another video.